I'm Peter Brown, and you're watching Futbol Miami TV's local news. Hey everybody, MLS is back. This weekend we saw the kickoff of the new MLS season, and so excited to watch MLS. If you're not really watching it yet, get into it now, because next year we'll be playing in it. Inter Miami will be playing in MLS next year. So this year is just, hey, let's look at the talent. Let's see who's out there, because a lot of Inter Miami's team will be made up of some of those players. So check them out, scout them out, play a little fantasy. Futbol Miami TV watched all the MLS action plus the El Clasico at MIA Beer Company. Awesome location to watch soccer. We were hanging out with the Southern Legion. So we're going to have a video of that event coming up on this channel in the very near future. So keep a watch out for that. It was a really exciting day, getting together with so many Inter Miami fans, getting excited about what's to come next year. This week, the main topic are the two proposals for Lockhart Stadium. Now, we've been covering this story quite a bit here on Futbol Miami TV, and there's some obvious reasons. One, it's going to really impact South Florida soccer scene. It's a prime real estate. It's a historic location, and it's really, for me, it's definitely very personal, as I've spent a lot of time going to that stadium, and I don't live too far from it. So at the end of the day, we're going to go through each of these two proposals. Both organizations put out a video for their proposals. So let's go and let's take a look at both videos. So let's start it off with Inter Miami's proposal for Lockhart Stadium. Let's take a look. All right, beautiful Lockhart Stadium. Nice signage there. Here's your facilities. Beautiful stadium. Nice park. Look at that. Look at that stadium. I like how they spotlighted Lockhart there. Nice aerial view. You can see that they're taking up the soccer field and the baseball fields. Flyover showing the nice park. Lots of soccer fields. Welcome to Fort Lauderdale sign. I like that. Beautiful stadium and nice training facilities overlooking a lot of fields where we'll have the ability for youth. State-of-the-art training facility. Nice walkway for the public. Lots of shaded areas. Plus you can watch planes land. How about that? While you're running through the park or sitting in the park reading a book, what have you. Beautiful open park space for the public overlooking that nice stadium. Some food areas there as well, so that while you're watching the game you can get something to eat, or watching the youth. State-of-the-art looking training facility. Here, let's pause right here. Here you could see they have training fields on top of the training center. Beautiful. So nice, beautiful walkways again. Nice lighted areas. I really like this. Can't complain at all. This is a fast-moving video. Let's also pause right here as we take a look at the stadium, something I want to talk about. Questions have been brought up about the size of the stadium. Is it too big for D3? It may be. It's just a rendering. Don't get too excited about it. It may change. It may be smaller when it's all said and done. But it's a beautiful facility and something we should all be proud of here at Lockhart Stadium. So don't get too concerned. And there we see a nice logo and beautiful fields, nice aerial, lots of green space in this place. I really like it. It's not Inter Miami has knocked it out of the park, no pun intended. I love the signage. I hope they do that right there. Beautiful. Nice walkways between the stadium and the training facility. Great aerial shot. Really beautiful nighttime view of the stadium. Well lit facility for everybody for nighttime playing. Inter Miami had knocked it out of the park, no pun intended. All right, now that we've looked at Inter Miami's, let's go and do the same thing with FXE Football's video. Let's roll it. All right, now we get a good look of aerial view of FXE Football's proposal. This video is a little slower, so we have a little more time. You can see the Top Golf there in the backside by all the training fields. That is the part that will be closer to the airport. Nice presentation. It's not as glitzy or more as glamorous as the Miami one, but it gets the job done. Now we're seeing it from the other side. You see that there are 7 training fields, and Lockhart Stadium is right there. The same orientation, the same positioning as the current Lockhart Stadium. And that's one of the things that people have complained about, is that Inter Miami will rip up the stadium, change the orientation, and this one maintains the stadium with just some major upgrades. Now we come in, nice entrance from Commercial Boulevard into the park. Really nice presentation here, very Florida. I like it, very Fort Lauderdale. Looks great. We come right up to a nice fountain area, very peaceful, tranquil park setting. I like it. This fits in with a lot of the other stylings that you would see in Fort Lauderdale. We see some shops or something on the left there. I'm not exactly sure what those buildings are, but they potentially could be shops. We have a nice playground here, something that the Inter Miami's proposal does not have, is that beautiful little playground, very common in Fort Lauderdale. And we have, looks like it could be a splash pad here in the middle. See some kids standing in there, so that would be a hit. And in my opinion, Inter Miami might want to look at potentially adding that as well. Kids love a splash pad. Love all the trees that they have in this, nice pathways that you can run or jog in. Got some workout sections here that are, again, open to the public. You'll see a lot of this type of setup in a lot of Broward County parks. Done very nicely. Looks like we have some lawn chairs or something over there to the left that we just kind of walked past. And we'll speed up a little bit. Now this is a little interesting. These rocks floating in water with people standing on top of them. I don't see that happening. That's an accident waiting to happen. That's liability. I wouldn't count on that. But it looks nice. This part here is a little odd to me. I'm not sure why we have these big boulders sit there in the middle. They look nice. Not sure the purpose. Kind of interesting. Not a big fan of those. Here you can see some of the public fields. See a game going on. This would be open to the public to what they would have tournaments and so forth. Nice gazebos for all those parents that are watching their children play the games. And it looks like they're setting up a kind of mini beach area. So, you can lounge out on some of those chairs that we saw in a kind of fake beach. Interesting. I don't really feel beachy in that neighborhood right up against an airport, but it looks nice. There's nothing wrong with this proposal. It's very nice. This proposal is, now we're heading back the same direction we went. We're not seeing the stadium in this proposal, but we will put a picture at the end of the stadium. This park is mostly a lot of walkways. It looks like over here to the left, we're seeing a dog park. Very cool. One thing you'll notice is a lot of these shops and restaurants that were first mentioned in their proposal have now been removed. Apparently that is based on some feedback that they've received, which would go hand in hand with some of the feedback that somebody like Tim Robbie had mentioned, that they're not necessarily in favor of all the retail space, but you still have the Top Golf there in the back. That's FXE Football's presentation. Really, really well done. All right, now we've had an opportunity to see both proposals. What do you think? Now, there's been a lot of debate going back and forth. There's a small group of people, our friends at Flight 19, that have been very, very vocal. A small group can be very loud, and they are. So they're against the Inter Miami's proposal. Like I said, I'm a resident of this area. Either proposal, I feel like I win. And really, isn't that what's the most important? Me? Just saying. Anyways, I don't think it's any secret. I'm in favor of Inter Miami having this space. I want the organization that I know that is going to be here for a very long time to run that piece of land, to have that piece of land, because it is historic. Now, there are some people that are upset that Inter Miami's wiping out the stadium and building a new modular stadium, whereas FXC is going to keep the orientation of the stadium and just enhance it and change. And it's going to look like a new stadium, but it'll be in the same footprint. So that's important for some people. For me, it's not so important because, look, life is full of change. Change is everywhere. When you're in business, you have to be prepared for change. I'm a big Disney fan, and Walt Disney used to say about his theme parks that he did not want them to become a museum. Things change. He was not afraid of wiping something out that may have been a fan favorite and putting something new and fresh in that location. Same thing here. While I respect and love the history of the traditional Lockhart Stadium, and we saw some pictures of how it currently looks. It doesn't look historic. Well, I mean, I guess it's how you define historic. It looks old, but wipe it out, start fresh. Inter Miami's beautiful. However, FXC's is a solid proposal as well, and I don't think we're going to lose either way. What is your opinion? The interesting thing is there have been 3 people groups that have come out, surprisingly in my opinion, in favor of Inter Miami. Tim Robbie, the former president of Fort Lauderdale Strikers. Also, Tim Robbie, son of Joe Robbie, former owner of the Miami Dolphins. So, big sports guy here in South Florida, very involved with the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. He is in favor of Inter Miami and actually against the fact that FXC is going to have retail space there. You get the impression that people just don't want another strip mall. We've got a million strip malls. I actually am in favor of the retail space, more so restaurants, because I vision you go see a game, you go have some dinner, go for a little shopping, maybe go stroll through a park. I like it. But Tim Robbie's against the FXC proposal, in favor of Inter Miami. Jeff Rusnak, former Sun Sentinel writer and soccer pundit here in South Florida, covered for the Miami Fusion. I almost said Fort Lauderdale Fusion. Miami Fusion in great detail. He also is in favor of Inter Miami's proposal. Another one is Kicks International. Kicks International is a organization that brings a lot of friendlies to South Florida, and they're in favor of Inter Miami. They are also a Broward-based company. So it's interesting to see these soccer people being in favor of Inter Miami, not so much FXC. My concerns with FXC, do they have the money to withstand the lean years? They want to build a championship level football team where they think they're going to get 5, 10, 15,000 people to go to it. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not when you've got Inter Miami playing down in 45 minutes to an hour south. You might get 5,000 people, maybe. Can you survive on 5,000 people week in, week out? Can this organization lose money like that every single year? Because that's what's going to happen. That's my opinion, but I want to know your opinion. I, as a resident, at the end of the day, I don't lose. Either one wins, I win, and that's what's most important. But what's important to you, put those down in the comments below. Let us know your thoughts on both proposals. Which one would you go for? Do you want the group that is building a long-term foundation? It's going to be here for a long time. Or the other one that, I don't know, there's questions. They may be great, but I just don't know. So, another thing. I want you guys to reach out to the Fort Lauderdale Commission and give your opinion. I'm going to put all the emails of the Fort Lauderdale commissioners down in the description below. Let them know what you feel. And I'm not trying to sway your vote. If you're for FXC, let them know. If you're for Inter Miami, let them know. But let your voice be heard and let them know, the commission know in Fort Lauderdale, who you want to run that facility. And that will wrap it up this week. Like and subscribe, and we will see you next week.